Ever seen a guy walk into a room and everyone just knows something's different, but they can't quite figure out what? That's James Nesbitt after his hair transplant, and not just one transplant. We're talking 5, maybe even a 6th. So why so many? What techniques did he use, and was it worth it? Let's dig in. Hi, I am Dr.Ko, a hair transplant surgeon in Korea. Today, we are going to talk about a renowned actor, James Nesbitt, regarding his hair transplant surgery progress. In his 30s, James' temples started disappearing fast. He once said, "It hurt to look in the mirror." I mean, can you imagine? You're on set, the lighting's harsh, the cameras are 4K, and every playback, you're watching your hairline move backwards. Now, I always tell my patients, hair loss isn't just cosmetic. It changes how you carry yourself. And for actors, that can mean fewer roles. James could have tried hiding under hats or using concealers. He thought, why not fix it properly? Let's start in 2008, James' first transplant. Now, here's where a lot of people go wrong. They think, I've lost hair, I'll just replace all of it in one go. But that's like trying to fill every pothole in the city in one afternoon. You'll run out of material and energy before you finish. James didn't do that. He targeted the frontal hairline and temples first. Why? Because that's what frames your face in every single photo, every close-up scene. You can't fake a natural hairline. You can use hair fibers in the crown or mid-scalp, but if the hairline is gone, people notice immediately. By 2012, second transplant, he'd already secured the hairline, so now the goal was density building. That means placing grafts behind the first transplant to blend it naturally with the mid-scalp. And here's a key point. Adding density in a second pass isn't about more coverage area, it's about quality. The first session creates the shape, the second makes it look truly full. Imagine painting a wall. You do the first coat to get the shape, then a second coat to make it solid and rich. Over the next few years, he had 3 more sessions, bringing the total to 5 by 2017. Now, that doesn't mean he had 5 huge surgeries. Think of it more as fine-tuning, addressing any thinning spots, filling in gaps as his natural hair continued to recede. Hair loss is progressive. Even after a great first transplant, the native hair around those grafts can keep thinning. If you don't account for that, you end up with islands of transplanted hair surrounded by bald areas. James avoided that by, you guessed it, planning ahead. And here's where fans get suspicious. In 2022, his hair looked a bit denser again. Did he go for 6th? Maybe. He hasn't confirmed, but I'll tell you this. If he did, it was subtle and well integrated. No one could point at it and say, that's a transplant. And that's the hallmark of excellent work. Reports vary. Some say FUT, where you take a strip from the back of the scalp. Others say FUE, or even unshaven FUE, which lets you keep most of your hair during surgery. My take? Early sessions may have been FUT for maximum graft yield, especially when big numbers were needed for the hairline and mid-scalp. Later, more targeted sessions could have used FUE or unshaven FUE for quick recovery and minimal visual downtime. Let's talk numbers. Probably around 2,000 to 3,000 grafts for the first session, and less than 1,000 grafts for future sessions. And you're looking at roughly 5,000 to 6,000 grafts. That is more than 10,000 plus hairs relocated. Placement was strategic, dense packing the frontal third, then feathering into the mid-scalp for a soft transition. No hard lines, no obvious wall of hair. Now, celebrity clinic rates mean he probably spent over 70,000 euros total. But here's the myth I want to bust. You don't need to spend that much to get similar results. The difference comes from surgeon skill, planning and post-op care, not just the price tag. As an expert, what's striking is Nesbitt's gradual and conservative approach. Spacing procedures over nearly a decade allows for natural-looking density, and using FUE or unshaven FUE at each stage helps avoid over-harvesting donor areas and keeps scarring minimal. Especially important for actors is a textbook approach to long-term maintenance. Plus, confidence matters. He credits the results for changing my life, something you can't measure in grafts alone. James Nesbitt didn't just rebuild his hairline, he rebuilt his confidence. And that's something no camera, no script, no amount of lighting can fake. So what can we learn from James Nesbitt's journey? First, if you're considering a transplant, go gradual. Multiple sessions over time give you control and preserve donor hair. Second, choose the right technique for your lifestyle. Unshaven FUE is discreet. Third, don't underestimate the emotional lift. Nesbitt's openness helped destigmatize the procedure for many. And lastly, no, you don't need celebrity budgets for effective results. So what can we learn from James' approach? 1. Start with the hairline. 2. Add density in phases. 3. Leave room for future adjustment. 4. Choose the right technique at the right time. That's how you turn a receding hairline into a red carpet ready one, without anyone catching on. James Nesbitt's hairline comeback wasn't magic. It was patience, planning, and precision. His story reminds us that hair restoration can be more than cosmetic. It can be confidence reclaimed. If you found this inspiring, don't forget to like, subscribe, and let us know what's your question about hair restoration. I'm Dr. Ko. See you next time.